So, morning yogis, and just beginning in whatever position you choose. What suits your body this morning, lying down or seated? Do you need the support of the mat? Or do you feel like you can sit in more of a kind of a meditative position? So just tuning in. What do you need today? Not just from this practice, just thinking about what else you might need. Perhaps some nurture, quiet time. Perhaps it's company, riveting conversation. You never know what you might find that you need today. It's not often something we always think about, is it? We know what we have to do and what's on the task list and the agenda. We don't often consider what we might need or want. And so just having this space to consider the possibility, it's always nice. Take a few deep breaths and just settle into your body. How are you feeling physically today? How are you feeling emotionally? Noticing how much is in the head and the mental chatter. And how do you feel spiritually? Not one that we perhaps often consider, maybe. Whether we feel very connected to everything around us. So have a moment to root. Take your roots down. Open up your chakra channel simply by tuning into the area of the chakra. You can see it open like a door or open like a flower. Your root, your sacral, your solar plexus, opening the heart, your throat, third eye and crown. And if you wish to tune into the universe around you, then just imagine a beautiful field of white light above you that just starts to funnel into the crown of your head, connected to heaven and earth, nice and grounded. Take a few breaths. And those of you lying down, just hug the knees in. Just ready to come up to seated. Take your time if you're already seated and you just want to flex the body a little. And gently coming up to a seated position. We'll practice mindfulness of breath this morning, one that we regularly do, but it is such a lovely practice to just repeat all the time. It's a very calming practice and it also really centers the mind as well. So resting hands to Dhyana Mudra. This takes usually about 5 minutes through going through the stages, the 4 parts. We count the out breath 1 to 10, the in breath 1 to 10, we stop the count, and then we tune into what we're really feeling with the breath. So I'll direct you. Get comfortable. Let yourself be warm and relaxed. Close your eyes. And we begin. So breathing out, and at the end of the breath we count 1. Carrying on with 2 all the way up to 10. And really relax. Relax your shoulders, relax your face. At the end of 10, we switch it round and count the in-breath. Stay with the process, really try and stick with it. Feel everything that you're feeling. Stay relaxed. After 10, just relax into simple breath. Release the counting. And then just gently start to tune in to the sensation around the nostrils and in the nostrils. The breath over the top lip. The expansion and contraction of your rib cage. Take in the whole feeling and mechanics of the breath. Draw your mind back if it wanders. And then with one last conscious breath, just coming back and blinking your eyes open. Notice if you get colours in your mind when you do that practice. As I say, it's something that we repeat quite often. It's a really beautiful practice. I first learnt it with Buddhists up in Cambridge, and but it will feel different every time you do the same practice. You will be different. Your emotions will be different. The feelings will be different. So it's quite special. We're going to begin with butterfly. A nice soft pose, just drawing feet together, and if you need support under your legs, please do take them. You may not normally need them, but today you might. Be open to what your body needs to be supported. And let's just fold into this soft pose and relaxing. Let the legs be heavy. Release your calf muscles behind the knees and inner thighs. And as you direct your breath to your belly, you can start to soften into the upper body. And shoulders, head and neck. Keep rotating your awareness back round to the legs. Just looking for tension that creeps back in. Let the shoulders round, let the head be heavy. Relaxing our nervous system. This pose is really healthy for your liver and your kidneys and your gallbladder. Just simply be in this moment. Noticing whatever you're feeling. The body is a vehicle for our awareness and our consciousness. If your body could speak back to you, what parts would say what things? What would your hips be saying now? What fears do certain parts of the body hold? If you feel safe, then you can fall into this pose a bit more. Just see if you can soften more. Awareness on your breath. Do you feel comfortable in your body today? In a physical and an emotional way? Or is there discomfort within? Let's take one more breath together in this pose. And nice and slowly lifting up. Enjoying what we've felt and enjoying what we feel as we just gently lift up, move out. Enjoying the little parts of release that we feel perhaps around the hips, knees, and relaxing into the back and spine. Let yourself melt into the mat. Let go. If that pose has brought about some sensation in the lower back, purely notice it Take the breath into areas that may be slightly tender. Nice deep belly breaths. Fueling up our solar plexus, our pranic center, like a little battery. I often like to consider when we come to class how much your battery feels full today. And just an hour on your mat can really kind of charge yourself up. So just gently now bring the knees in, right knee, then left knee. Gentle hug. So with butterfly, there was an element of taking the spine forwards. We're going to come into seal next and just counterpose the curve to the spine in a gentle way, whatever support you want. I quite like to bring a little cushion under the chest so that I can really relax through the belly and the abdomen and the chest here. And coming into a nice sort of sphinx seal. And if you've got a block or something soft that you want to use for your forehead initially, then you can. Often you can start with the block high, and then as you soften into it, the head may come lower. If this is aggravating lower back, take the elbows out wider so that you sink more towards the mat. Just find the pose that feels right for you. And really try and relax here. Often there's going to be tension in the lower back and buttocks and through the backs of your thighs. Just let everything rest. Let the heels turn in, the legs may rotate. And breathing into whatever sensation you're feeling in the lumbar spine. If you can relax your shoulders and upper arms, head and neck. And take the breath consciously to the belly. How does this feel within you today? The lower part of the spine can be very linked with fears to do with our security, financial worries, feeling safe, supported in a material world. It can also be very linked with relationships and lack of joy if we're not allowing joy in our life. If we feel a bit stumped and things are challenging for us, our ability to go with the flow can be challenged. So we come into this pose to encourage balance. Let ourselves go with the flow of life. And that's not to mean just haphazardly be drifting. It means to happily go with the flow of the direction that you're choosing, not resisting. Keep relaxing where you can. And let's take a breath here. And just really slowly moving whatever props that you're using. Either come onto your belly or your back. I always prefer my back. Nice small movements so that you can really savour the feeling from seal. Let yourself relax. Just breathing. And just follow the sensation that's gently fading away now. If there is a sensation around the lower back, take some real deep breaths into the belly. And feel this whole lower part of the body expand. Balancing our emotions, creativity and flow of life. This area is linked with water as well, so all the fluids that run through our body, encouraging balance too. So let's hug in, have a moment here, especially as we took the spine back in that direction, to just massage, enjoy a little rock or roll around. Hug the knees in tighter just to stretch a little bit through the lower back more and come into mid-spine. Just enjoying being with your body and noticing everything. We're going to come into deer saddle. So a pose where we're seated, and the way I've come up into this now is just bringing the left leg, the left shin to sort of the front of the mat, and then the right leg swings behind, a little bit like twisted deer, but actually we remain sitting up here, and we can just lean back. If this aggravates your knees, sit up a little bit more, but if you want to lean back and it feels comfortable, you're going to feel a sensation around the outer thigh, around your right hip. Perhaps using some blocks to lean back on will be more comfortable as well, or fingertips. If at any point this pose is not comfortable and is becoming painful, please just exit, lying down. Okay, so let's settle into this. Perhaps we can close our eyes, we can just drop the chin forward. And notice what we're feeling challenged with. If you need to lean slightly more to one side to make it a bit more comfortable, just find where you can remain still. Sometimes it's not so much about the pose that we necessarily come into for the health benefits of whatever shape we've made. It's more about us being able to just sit with ourselves, relax into something that may feel slightly awkward in life. Teaching us resilience. How does this feel now that we've sat in this for a couple of minutes already? Relaxing into shoulders and upper arms. Notice if you're quite rigid in your upper back. As you sit with these poses, notice where you are feeling sensation. Is it all located around your right thigh and hip joint or knee? And just listening in to what the body says to you. Is there stuff, emotional stuff, locked in these areas? Tuning into your breath. And we'll just take a few more breaths here. And nice and slowly coming out. Maybe lean towards your left as you rotate upwards so that we can take a little bit of tension out of the knee and the hip. And swing yourself round, finding neutral. Really lovely pose for your spleen and stomach channels. That not all poses do those ones, so it's really nice to get into these meridians. So as you relax here, just listening and feeling how your right leg feels compared with your left. What sensation do you feel all the way down to your feet and toes? Can you feel a coolness over your right shin, which is the stomach channel? Whether the sensation is sort of outer leg or inner leg. Very much a gallbladder pose, that 1-2 for the outer edge of the hip and waist. Encouraging balance and courage there. So this is probably fading now, the feelings. And we'll hug in. How does your lower back feel after that pose? It wasn't too intense in the lower back. Just notice if there's any sensation or whether it's all subsided away. And then we roll up, coming into the other side of deer saddle. So right shin to the front, left leg swings behind. And just noticing if there's a real different sensation with this pose. For me, there's a real imbalance in where the body placement is. And trying to relax. Either sitting up if that's better for you, or leaning back. Noticing what stretch you're getting through the knee and hip and thigh. Can you relax your calf muscle on your left leg? And perhaps even the right leg. Please, if you need to come out of this pose, please do. You might find that your tummy rumbles a little bit. This definitely does target your stomach channel. If you wish, you can always explore taking the left leg further around the back and moving the right leg over to the right more, whatever feels right. So noticing if you're starting to like this pose in any way, or whether it really is not a nice one for you today. Why is that? What are our emotions connected to the shape that we're making? Gentle breaths into the belly. Notice if the mind is wandering. And just come back to this space. The spleen that we stimulate here can be very linked with worry. In a negative way. Gently, let's take a breath. And ever so slowly, being very careful of the knee joint, let's exit this pose and find neutral. Nice, slow movement. Quite intense on the knee, that one. So just taking time. Relaxing all the way from head to toe, noticing what you're feeling in certain joints of the body. And just breathing into your belly. Watching whatever feelings, sensations leave the body. And we'll bring our knees in. Take a moment, noticing what you're feeling, certainly in these joints. Nice gentle rock if you need to sort of move the knees gently and kick the legs. Whatever feels nurturing for you. And then we're going to come up into a pose called moth. This is a bit of a strange pose. We sit with our legs apart and we bring our sort of arms like chicken wings. But what we do is we rotate our hands into our belly with the fingers sort of pointing up towards the ribs. And we come here like this. It's actually quite a nice stretch for the shoulders, but if this does aggravate anybody's shoulders, then trying not, then sort of maybe just kind of coming into an easier way. But yeah, it's bringing the fingers up towards the ribs, the palms are down, and the arms are tucked into the knees. We won't hold this for the whole 5 minutes. A lovely stretch for your upper back, the way you can curve into and stretch through the shoulder blades here. Also a nice stretch around the outer part of the upper arms, wrists. Try and relax into the legs. There is that tendency to sort of keep them pressured there against the arms. And again, if this doesn't feel right for anybody, please come out. It's an unusual pose. Take some lovely deep breaths and you can really feel your back ribs open. Seeing if you can relax your thighs. Just take a few more deep breaths here. We'll just have done sort of 2.5 minutes. And then just gently release the hands, release the arms. Do this really nice and slowly. You might want to just rotate the hands a little. Come into neutral pose. A curious pose that moth one is. I don't actually mind it, but a strange one to hold for any length of time. Tune into your wrists, your hands, your arms, where the lungs, heart, and the large and small intestine channels run. Can you feel a coolness around the outside of your shoulders? Or what fingertips do you notice maybe a tingling sensation? Relax. Just check in with yourself. Did you quite like that pose, or was it horrible from the moment you went into it? Or were there some curious sensations that you didn't mind exploring? So we'll gently bring our knees in. I'm going to offer you two poses here. The one I'm going to lead with is Caesar, which is a kneeling pose. But if that doesn't suit you because of the way the compression is, then turtle is kind of a variation where we come forward. So Caesar is where we sit, basically sitting on our heels. It is a compression. We're stretching the knees, and we're also getting a lovely stretch over the tops of our ankles. This might be quite comfortable for some of you. If not, then you can always roll something up underneath your the tops of the feet, like put a small hand towel. Or if you want to just come into turtle, again, it's still a compression, but in a different way. It's less pressure on the ankles, but still through the knees. And you can also, if you wish, kind of use a pillow so that it's not so compressive. Whatever you'd like to choose today. Both of these poses are wonderful for your stomach channel that run along your shins. So choose what you'd like. If you come into Caesar, we're just going to sit here. Close the eyes, just rest the hands on the thighs. And if neither of these suit you, then please lie down. In Caesar, you will notice maybe a gentle flexion or movement in your pelvis to get comfortable through your spine. And if you're in turtle and you need support under the backs of the thighs and the buttocks for a release of the compression, please use whatever feels comfortable. And if you want to move from Caesar to turtle, then please do. Trying to relax through the backs of your thighs, backs of your calves. Awareness on your breath. Let's just gently take a breath. That was only really a couple of minutes. come into neutral. Nice and slowly, as I say, it's quite compressive. Let everything stretch out. Feeling that sensation through the backs of your legs now, shins, around the sole of your feet. Can you feel tingling under the sole of your feet? How do your knees feel? Is there a feeling of coolness or feeling refreshed in any way? Checking in through the inner thighs if they're feeling cool. Around the groin and pelvis. A lot of our meridians kind of go within the body as well as across sort of the top of the body. Just letting all the blood and fluid flow back into the body where they've been compressed. And if you'd like to just hug the knees in, and we'll just take the legs up into waterfall just for a minute or so. You can grab a cushion just to pop under the buttocks. We won't hold this for a full length, we'll just end a few minutes with this, especially as we've done quite a bit with the legs today, with deer saddle and Caesar or turtle. Just give them a little bit of a rest, rest the heart. Maybe just close the eyes if you haven't already. Have a few moments of inner contemplation. Awareness of the inner dialogue that's running at the moment. Noticing if the thoughts are thinking you or you are thinking your thoughts. Who's in control? And we'll gently just lower the feet, bend the knees. Have a moment just in neutral to release out of that pose. And just take a full body scan from head to toe. Excuse me. How do you feel through your shoulders, your arms, front and back of your body and spine? Checking in with hips and knees and feet, all the joints. So even after certain poses, there may have been a little bit of a tenderness lingering. How does it feel now? And then if you want to come into a comfy position for relaxation, just allow yourself to get warm and cozy. Pull over a little blanket. And allow yourself permission to have this time just to relax. We still have the whole day ahead of us of all sorts of other things we need to do. So this time to just be completely still. Just going to read you something from this wonderful book, The Spirit of Yoga. Just something to think about. It's just titled up Cultivating Attitudes of the Heart. In both Buddhism and Hinduism, there is a 2,500-year-old practice where the 4 noblest qualities of mind are radiated into the universe for the benefit of all living creatures. This special meditation exercise cultivates friendliness, compassion, joy, and peace of mind. It is a practice that develops a spacious heart. May all beings be happy. May all beings be filled with joy. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings know peace. So just sit or lie comfortably in a quiet place. Bring a soft attention to your breathing. And begin repeating over and over again these or similar phrases. Reflect on the benefits of these qualities. Imagine the center of your heart opening and radiating a vast and limitless outpouring of love and tenderness to yourself and all beings. This meditation has not been around for thousands of years for nothing. It is powerful, it can transform. May all beings be happy. May all beings be filled with joy. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings know peace. I'll just say that again. See if you can stay with the words. May all beings be happy. May all beings be filled with joy. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings know peace. Gently, in your own time, just come back consciously. And just reflecting on how you're feeling on all levels. And whether those little words in the passage that I read will stay with you, maybe come back to you throughout your day. About all beings being happy, with joy, free from suffering, and to know peace. A lovely heart opener. So gently beginning to wiggle fingers and toes. And if you're already seated, you can just gently move the body. As we move, we come back into our physical day. Take a few deep breaths. Feeling our conscious breath. These may be the last few breaths that we have in our day that are fully conscious. And then maybe hug the knees in if you're lying down. Enjoy a nice little rock on your spine. And then gently in your own time, coming up. Again, a few breaths, feeling the body and how we move with the breath. And then hands to heart center. Om Shanti. Namaste.